decorations required 3 months' notice and a member referral. Crystal chandeliers, leather booths, waiters in white gloves, and a wine list thicker than most novels. My parents loved it here. It screamed old money, prestige, exclusivity, everything they valued. Tonight was their 30th wedding anniversary. Just family. Me, my sister Vanessa, and our parents. Intimate and elegant, exactly how Mom wanted it. I arrived exactly on time, 7 p.m. Vanessa was already there, wearing a designer dress that probably cost more than most people's monthly salary, her engagement ring catching the light every time she moved her hand. He did that a lot. The hand thing. Making sure everyone saw the 3-carat diamond her fiancé Brandon had given her. "Harper," she said when she saw me, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "It actually came. I thought you'd be too busy with your little projects." "Wouldn't miss it," I replied, sliding into the booth. Mom and Dad arrived moments later, both dressed impeccably. Dad in a tailored suit, Mom in pearls and silk. They looked like they'd stepped out of a country club catalog. "Happy anniversary," I said, standing to hug them. "Thank you, darling," Mom said, but her eyes were already scanning my outfit. Simple black dress, minimal jewelry, no designer labels. I could see the disappointment flicker across her face. "You look comfortable." Translation: "You look poor." We ordered drinks. Champagne for everyone except me. I ordered water. Vanessa noticed immediately. "Not drinking, Harper? Trying to save money?" She laughed like it was a joke, but there was an edge to it. "Just prefer to stay clear-headed," I said. "Of course. You always were the serious one." "No fun." Vanessa sipped her champagne. "Brandon and I just got back from the Maldives. 2 weeks at a private resort. It was absolutely divine." "Have you ever been to the Maldives, Harper?" "No." "Oh. Well, you should go sometime. When you can afford it." Another laugh. Another reminder. Dad cleared his throat. "So, Vanessa tells us the wedding planning is going well. June wedding at the Botanical Gardens, correct?" "Yes, Daddy. It's going to be perfect. Brandon's parents are flying in their friends from Europe. We're expecting about 300 guests." Vanessa turned to me. "You're still coming, right, Harper? I know it might be hard for you to take time off work, but family is important." "I'll be there," I said quietly. The appetizers arrived. Oysters, caviar, imported cheese. Dad ordered a $400 bottle of wine. The conversation flowed around me. Vanessa's wedding, Brandon's promotion, the vacation home Dad was considering buying in Aspen. "Harper, you've been quiet," Mom said, dabbing her lips with a napkin. "How's work?" "It's good," I said. "Still doing that tech thing?" Dad asked vaguely. "Software development, yes." He didn't sound interested. "Well, it's good you have a steady job. Not glamorous, but steady." Vanessa jumped in. "Brandon's company just landed a huge contract with a pharmaceutical company. He's being fast-tracked to partner. At 32. Can you imagine?" "That's wonderful," Mom beamed. "What about you, Harper?" Vanessa asked with mock curiosity. "Any big promotions? Raises? Or are you still just coding?" "Still coding," I confirmed. "Well, someone has to do it, I suppose." Vanessa exchanged a look with Mom that I wasn't supposed to see but did. The main course arrived. Wagyu beef, lobster tail, truffle risotto. The kind of meal that cost more than some people's weekly grocery budget. I ate slowly, savoring the food while half listening to Vanessa dominate the conversation with wedding details, honeymoon plans, and the house she and Brandon were building in the suburbs. Then came dessert. Crème brûlée, chocolate soufflé, a cheese plate. And with dessert came the announcement I hadn't been expecting. Dad set down his wine glass and cleared his throat. "Your mother and I wanted to talk to you both about something important tonight." Vanessa perked up. I stayed quiet. "As you know, we set up trust funds for both of you when you were born," Dad continued. "Harper, yours was set to mature when you turned 25. That was 6 years ago." "I remember," I said. "You cashed it out almost immediately. $1.2 million, gone in a matter of months." Dad's tone was disapproving. "We were disappointed, Harper. That money was supposed to be your foundation, your security. We don't know what you spent it on, but it's gone now." I said nothing. "Vanessa, however, has been more responsible," Mom added, smiling at my sister. "She's kept her trust fund intact, invested it wisely and demonstrated real financial maturity. Vanessa preened. So we've made a decision, Dad announced. We're restructuring the trusts. Vanessa, yours will remain as planned. But Harper, we're reallocating your remaining inheritance to your sister. She's proven she can handle it. She's achieved something. She's getting married, building a life, doing things the right way. The table went silent. Vanessa's smirk was barely concealed. Mom nodded approvingly. Dad watched me, waiting for a reaction. We're giving your trust fund to your sister, Dad said again, slower this time, like I hadn't understood. She actually achieved something. Well, you had your chance. I set down my fork carefully, took a sip of water, and smiled. Hey, I said. Dad blinked. Okay, that's all you have to say. What would you like me to say? I thought you'd be upset, Mom said, looking almost disappointed that I wasn't crying or begging. Why would I be upset about money that doesn't exist anymore? I asked calmly. Because it was yours, Vanessa said, unable to hide her satisfaction. And now it's mine. Because I'm responsible and you're not. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned the screen toward them. I'm not upset because this is my actual bank account. 3 faces leaned in to look. The number on the screen, $67,349,284.33. Mom gasped audibly. That's 67 million? Give or take a few $100,000, I said. It fluctuates daily based on market performance. Dad grabbed the phone from my hand, staring at the screen like it might be a trick. This can't be real. This is fake. You edited this somehow. It's real, I said. The trust fund you're talking about? The $1.2 million I cashed out at 18? I invested it. Started a software company. Sold it 4 years later for $8.3 million. Then I started another company. Sold that one for $23 million. Then I started a third company which I still own. It's currently valued at $94 million and I hold 62% of the shares. The table was completely silent. Vanessa's face had gone white. You're lying. Am I? I took my phone back and opened my investment portfolio. Here's my stock holdings. Here's my real estate portfolio. I own 4 commercial properties and 6 residential. Here's my business valuation from last quarter. Would you like to see my tax returns? I paid $8.2 million in taxes last year. Why didn't you tell us? Mom whispered, her hand at her throat. I tried, I said simply. Multiple times. 4 years ago when I sold my first company, I invited you to dinner to celebrate. Dad, you said you were busy with a golf tournament. Mom, you said you had a charity luncheon. Vanessa, you said you had plans with Brandon. That's not, Vanessa started. 3 years ago when I started my second company, I invited you to the launch party. None of you came. Dad said it was nice that I had a hobby. Mom asked when I was going to get a real job. Vanessa told her friends I worked in IT support. Dad's face was red now. You should have insisted. Made us listen. I did, I said calmly. I sent you all quarterly updates about my companies. Financial reports. Growth projections. None of you ever responded. Not once. So I stopped trying. This is insane, Vanessa said, her voice rising. If you're so rich, why do you dress like that? Why do you live in that tiny apartment? Why don't you have a nice car? I dress comfortably because I work from home most days. I live in a 1,200 square foot apartment because I don't need more space and it's in a great location. I drive a hybrid because it's fuel efficient and reliable. I paused. I don't need to perform wealth, Vanessa. I actually have it. Mom was crying now, mascara starting to run. Harper, honey, we didn't know. You have to understand, we had no idea. You had no idea because you never asked, I said. Every conversation was about Vanessa's accomplishments. Vanessa's wedding. Vanessa's life. I was just the other daughter. The disappointing one who cashed out her trust fund and probably wasted it on something frivolous. What did you want us to think? Dad demanded. You took $1.2 million and disappeared with it. I invested it, I said firmly. And I tripled it within 6 years. Then I turned that into tens of millions. I built 3 successful companies. I employ 87 people. I pay their healthcare, their retirement, their salaries. I've created something real and sustainable. But none of that mattered to you because I didn't do it the way you expected. Vanessa found her voice again, sharp and defensive. So what, you're just going to sit there and make us feel bad? Rub your money in our faces. No, I said. I'm going to tell you something you need to hear. That trust fund you're giving to Vanessa? The one you think I wasted? I stopped caring about it the moment I realized I could build something bigger on my own. I don't need your money. I never did. I just needed you to see me. We do see you, Mom said desperately. No, you don't. You see what I'm showing you right now because it's undeniable. But you've never seen me. You've never asked about my work, my goals, my life. You decided I was the unsuccessful daughter and never questioned it. Dad leaned back in the booth looking 10 years older suddenly. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say, Dad. You made your decision. Give Vanessa my trust fund. He's welcome to it. I have everything I need. I picked up my water glass. But there's something else you should know. They all stared at me. That trust fund you're reallocating? The one still in the family accounts. I've been managing your entire investment portfolio for the last 3 years. Mom's eyes went wide. What? Remember when you said your financial advisor retired and the firm assigned you a new one? That was me. Well, my company. Baker Financial Management. I bought the firm 2 years ago specifically because they managed your accounts. I wanted to make sure you were taken care of. You've been managing our money? Dad's voice was hoarse. Yes. Your retirement accounts, your investments, everything. The returns you've seen over the last 3 years? That was my strategy. Your portfolio value has increased by 47% since I took over. You're about to retire very comfortably because of investments I made on your behalf. Vanessa looked like she might be sick. Why would you do that? Because regardless of how you see me, you're still my family, I said. I wanted to make sure you were secure. That Mom and Dad could retire without worry. That their money worked for them. Harper. Mom reached for my hand but I pulled back gently. I need you to understand something, I said. I don't need your approval anymore. I don't need your validation. I built my success without your support and I'll continue to build it regardless of whether you ever acknowledge it. But I wanted you to know on your anniversary that the daughter you dismissed has been taking care of you this whole time. I stood up, pulling my coat from the back of the booth. Where are you going? Dad asked. Home. I have a board meeting in the morning. We're finalizing a merger that's going to expand my company into 3 new markets. I placed my napkin on the table. Dinner was lovely. Happy anniversary. Harper, please, Mom begged. We need to talk about this. We need to. No, we don't, I said gently. You made it very clear tonight where I stand in this family. You were prepared to give away my inheritance without even talking to me about it first. You announced it like it was a done deal, like I had no say, like I didn't matter. That tells me everything I need to know. We made a mistake, Dad said, standing up. A terrible mistake. Please sit back down. Let's talk. We've been talking for 31 years, Dad. You just haven't been listening. I picked up my phone. For what it's worth, Vanessa, congratulations on your wedding. I hope you and Brandon are very happy together. And enjoy the trust fund. Consider it a wedding gift. I don't want it now, Vanessa said quietly, tears streaming down her face. Not like this. Too late, I said. You were perfectly happy to take it 5 minutes ago when you thought I was broke. Nothing's changed except what you know about me. And that says everything. I walked toward the exit of the Sterling Club. Behind me, I heard Mom crying, Dad calling my name, Vanessa saying something I couldn't quite hear. But I didn't turn around. The valet brought my car around. My unremarkable hybrid that was paid off and perfectly functional. I got in and drove home to my tiny apartment with the view of the harbor and the home office where I'd built a multi-million-dollar empire. My phone started ringing before I even pulled out of the parking lot. Mom, please come back. We can fix this. Dad, I looked up your company. Harper, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. Vanessa, I feel sick. I don't want the trust fund. I don't want any of it. And one text from Brandon, Vanessa's fiancé, who'd apparently been briefed. Holy shit, you're that Harper Baker? The tech entrepreneur? Vanessa never told me. What the hell? I turned my phone to silent and drove home. When I got to my apartment, I poured a glass of wine and sat on my balcony, looking out at the city lights. Somewhere out there, my family was probably still at the Sterling Club, trying to process what had just happened. Trying to reconcile the daughter they'd dismissed with the woman who'd been quietly succeeding beyond their wildest expectations. My phone buzzed with a call. Not my family this time. My CFO. Harper, the Morgan deal just closed. We're officially expanding to the West Coast. Congratulations, boss. Thanks, David. Good work. Are you okay? You sound off. Family dinner, I said. Say no more. He paused. For what it's worth, you've built something incredible here. Don't let anyone make you forget that. I won't, I promised. After I hung up, I looked at the messages flooding my phone. 23 from Mom. 15 from Dad. 37 from Vanessa. All of them desperate. All of them apologetic. All of them suddenly seeing me for the first time. But here's the thing about finally being seen. Sometimes it comes too late. Sometimes people only value you when they realize what you're worth. And that's not love. That's not respect. That's just recognition of utility. I'd spent 31 years trying to earn their approval. Trying to prove I was enough. And I'd done it. I'd exceeded every possible measure of success. Built companies. Made millions. Created jobs. Managed their investments. Taken care of them even when they couldn't be bothered to take care of me. And the moment they found out. The moment they realized I wasn't the failure they'd believed I was. They wanted back in. But I was done performing. Done proving. Done shrinking myself to fit their expectations. I opened my laptop and looked at the investor reports for my company. Growth projections showing another 40% increase next year. 3 acquisition offers we were considering. A product launch that would revolutionize our industry. This was real. This was mine. And this was enough. I didn't need a trust fund. I didn't need their approval. I didn't need them to see me. Because I'd finally learned to see myself. And what I saw was worth $67 million and climbing. The trust fund they'd tried to take away? It was nothing. The life I'd built without them? Everything.